So let's start with another match announcement for East vs West 20, which this time was announced by a YouTube channel called Adam the Bodybuilder Bully, who yesterday did a live stream and announced that Petro Margarin will be taking on the man who last time beat the legend John Brzezinski himself, Yoshi Kanai. Now I do want to mention that there is still one more match for this card that is yet to be announced, and it will apparently be released by a YouTuber in Russia later on this week. Now let's talk about Dexter, who this past weekend once again did a 2-hour long live stream. So let's go over some of the news and updates that he talked about. So starting off, we have some news about Kiril Sarychev, with Dexter now confirming that there are extensive talks happening behind the scenes and that they're already planning possible opponents for his first match at East vs West. Now of course none of them are still confirmed, but just the fact that they're talking with him means that we might actually see Kiril compete at East vs West sometime next year. Now moving on to some other announcements for East vs West 20, with Dexter here announcing that not only Neil Pickup but also Coach Ray will be back as part of the team for East vs West in Switzerland. Then we also got an update from Dexter about the deal with UFC, with them possibly bringing someone from there to commentate at East vs West, with Dexter now updating us and saying that Chael Sonnen's name is also on that list. Now we know that Chael has talked about arm wrestling in the past, and even though he was paid to do that, he is still aware of this sport, and I think it'll be very interesting if someone from that kind of caliber comes to our sport and ends up commentating at East vs West. But let's move on and talk about some of the recent news about our athletes, with Dexter here announcing that due to fan requests, the popular Japanese puller Ayane Takenaka will be coming back, and that her next match will in fact be at East vs West 21 in December. Now we all know that Vitaly will face Kamil Jablonski at East vs West 20, and a lot of people are wondering who will the winner face after this match. Well, Dexter here said that there might be a plan to face them against Vitaly, but of course he didn't say this officially, since there are other athletes in that top 5 that they might want to face before Vitaly. Moving on to another potential star in the sport, the younger brother of Rykert Borman, another superstar that has been competing at East vs West, with his first win being against Wallace Dilly and the most recent against Pavlo Derbedeniev at East vs West 19. Now Rykert has talked about his brother many times before, and looking at some of his recent training footage, we can definitely tell that he knows what he's doing on the table, and with him being only 16 years old, I think that there is high potential that this young man will be special. And to end things off, I wanted to share this post by Lars Rørbakken, who has once again chosen a very unique location for arm wrestling and honestly keeps inspiring us to reach new heights.